there's a couple more problems here. Using the quadratic equation, I tried to make these ones a little bit tougher than the last video that you might have watched. But again, the quadratic equation is up here, negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Again, you've probably seen that before. So we're doing 3 and 4 because I did 1 and 2 on a different video. You can check those out if you'd like. But here, number 3 says 3x squared plus 4x equals 8. We need this to equal 0, so I'm going to move my 8 over, which would give us 3x squared plus 4x minus 8 equals 0. All right, now it looks good. So I can find my a, b, and c as 3, 4, and negative 8. Okay, throw that into our equation. We need negative b, or the opposite of our b. So the opposite of positive 4 is negative 4. Plus or minus the square root. B squared is 16. Again, do that part in your head. You can always do 4 squared, 8 squared, 7 squared, whatever that is in your head. Just if you leave it as something squared later on, you're more likely to mess it up. Just do it in your head now. Minus 4, and then our a and our c is 3 and negative 8. Divided by 2 times a. Again, do this part in your head, the 2 times a. So 2 times 3 is 6. All right, then what you want to do is take a calculator, and in there you're going to do what's called the discriminant, so the part underneath the square root. Just type it in exactly like it looks. 16 minus 4 parenthesis, or times, if you will, 3 times negative 8, which is 112. All right, so this could be interesting. So negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 112 all over 6. All right, now 112 should still be in your calculator. Let's just see if any perfect squares go into that. So if I divide it by 4, it gives me 28, which is also divisible by 4, which means 112 should be divisible by 16. Let's type that in. 112 divided by 16 is 7. So a little side work here. This is what I'm kind of thinking in my head, is the square root of 112 actually equals the square root of 16 times the square root of 7. And this is important because when I simplify this, the square root of 16 is 4. This gives me 4 square roots of 7. So that's why I want to write it now. It is negative 4 plus or minus 4 square roots of 7 over 6. All right, and I suppose you could probably leave it like this, but we can simplify a little bit farther, which would be, let's see, negative 4 divided by 6, and positive 4 divided by 6 for that matter. 2 goes into both of those. We can make that negative 2 plus or minus 2 square roots of 7 over 3. All right, I think we will leave it like that. Again, those are both of our answers because we have the plus and the minus. Let's try this one. Next one, number 4, says 10x squared minus 9 minus 7x equals negative 7x. Right away, I've seen we have a negative 7x on both sides. You could just cancel those, or to understand why I'm canceling those, if we add 7x on both sides, they cancel. Okay, so what does this do for me? This gives me 10x squared plus 9 equals 0. Uh-oh, there's only 2 terms. That's okay, you can write another one in if you want, right? We're missing the b term, so let's write that in. Let's put, how many x's are there currently in the b? 0. So why can I not put 0x? Sure, I can do that. Plus 9 equals 0. The reason I'm telling you this is because we need our a, b, and c values. So b is just going to be 0. A is 10 and the c is 9. 10 and 9. Like that. Now I can put that into our formula. Well, the opposite of our b, the opposite of 0. 0 is not negative or positive, so let's just keep it 0. You can think of this as negative 1 times b. Negative 1 times 0 is still 0. Okay, either way, plus or minus, square root. And then 0 squared, also 0. Okay, right? 0 squared is still 0. Okay, I told you to do that part in your head, so I'll leave it like this. 0 minus 4, and then our a is 10, and our c is 9. All divided by 2 times a. 2 times a is 10. 2 times 10 is 20. Let's do it like that. Again, this first part is just going to go away, but in the middle there, 0 minus 4 times 10 times times 9 is negative 360. That's interesting. Square root, plus or minus the square root. Again, we could write the 0 if we want, but negative 360 divided by 20. Okay, so first off, 360 is just kind of like we did the side work over here. It's just going to be 36 times 10. I know the square root of 36 is 6. This is 6 square roots of 10. And then with that negative, I need to take out an I. All right, so what this is going to do, come over here, we're going to have 6 square roots of 10, but really it's 6I square roots of 10. Can you guys see that? Let me write that a little bit better. 6I square roots of 10 over 20. And don't forget your plus or minus. And then the last thing we can do to simplify this just a little bit farther, 6 and 20 are both divisible by 2. So this would be 3I square roots of 10, or yeah, square roots of 10 over 10, with your plus and minus out front. So a little bit strange looking answer, but I wanted to show you that because sometimes you get something kind of complicated or just weird, right? It's missing a b. So if you get something like this, you can still do it using the quadratic equation.